Back when I was first starting out my channel, I became good friends with a fellow Cars YouTuber named Disney Cars Collector. Disney Cars Collector would do live streams on his channel almost every night, and every single time he did, I would be there in the chat while he did the stream. Sometimes it was just us, and we would sit there for hours talking, asking each other questions, and discussing our love for Cars diecasts. I learned a lot about his collection. At the time, it was really the first time I had engaged and interacted with a fellow Cars YouTuber on such a deep level, getting to see his full collection almost every day and asking him about different items he owned, as we also talked about mine. He inspired me to get a lot of different cars. I talked about ones I wanted to get. He talked about ones he wanted to get. And he's actually the first person to really inspire me to go out and collect planes diecasts. He had a really great planes collection, and I wanted to get some for myself. It's those early formative moments of my channel that I often overlook now, that I often kind of look past nowadays, but they really helped make me who I am today as a collector and as a creator. And one night, during one of these streams, I asked him, "What's your least favorite car? What do you think the worst car ever made is?" If I remember correctly, it took him a little while to come up with an answer. He couldn't really think of one. I couldn't really think of one either. But his answer? Maurice Wheelks. He's a background character, not all that important. Yeah, he has a unique mold, but he's really not the most appealing looking item. He's just kind of an ugly car design. I agreed. That's what we both kind of thought. And now, for years, I've remembered Maurice Wheelks as the least favorite car of one of my earliest YouTube friends. Someone that I didn't like because I agreed. It's just kind of a weird, strange looking item. For years, I didn't really want to pick up Maurice Wheelks, but last Christmas, I decided to ask for him. He's a pretty cheap background character, and I thought it'd be fun to add him to my collection. Why not, right? Sure, he might not be the best looking item, but he's one that means quite a lot to me from that perspective. It's kind of a piece of my history on YouTube that I remember quite fondly. And hey, honestly, he's not as bad as I thought he was. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another review, and to another Cars diecast review. Today we're going to be taking a look at Maurice Wheelks from the 2013 Palace Chaos series. This is an item that I got for Christmas, and one I'm very excited to take a look at. Like I said, I have some history with this car, and I'm genuinely very excited to take a look at the item, open it up, and finally see what Maurice Wheelks' deal is. Maurice is a background character that appears in the London Palace scene in Cars 2. Or I guess he's not in the palace, but he's kind of sitting alongside the Queen like a lot of the other cars we got in the Palace Chaos series were. He's a pretty unique car model, actually being the same sort of car as Sergeant Highgear, albeit without all of the accessories and all that. I have some nice character artwork for him there, the Palace Chaos logo. I always loved that very stark red sort of carpet that they use as part of the scene here in the artwork. We've got the gate there, and he was number 5 of 9 in the series, which also included such items as Holly Shiftwell with Screen, You the Bomb Mater, there's Maurice himself, Victor Pavillon, Mike Lorengen, and Miles Axelrod with Open Hood. I believe I now have all of these. I'm pretty sure I actually have all these. This is not the hardest collection to get. I mean, it would have been hard if they hadn't recently re-released Miles with Hood. There's a bomb. Palace security detects a bomb on Mater and surrounds him as cars flee the area. Some artwork, or I guess a screenshot of Mater and McQueen there. Palace Chaos logo. I always find it fun when they label what year it is on the package. That's common nowadays where they always say, oh, new for 2025. But back then, not so much. Maurice is a pretty interesting item because he was re-released in 2015 when they brought the Palace Chaos series back. And I don't believe really any of the other background characters from that series were brought back for 2015. We got new ones, but I don't know why Maurice got special treatment. Also, for some reason, when Maurice came back, he lost his last name. He went from Maurice Wheelks to just Maurice, and I don't know why. That's such a strange error with him. Or I guess not an error. It must have been intentional. Why did he lose his last name? Where did it go? What happened? Anyway, here is Maurice out of the package, and yeah, it's I mean, he's not my favorite. He's certainly a pretty strange looking background car, honestly. Like I said, he's the same sort of car as Sergeant High Gear. They don't use the exact same mold, obviously, but they are sort of based on each other. We also more recently saw this car model return with Margaret Motoray, who once again uses a different mold. These are all pretty similar items, but again, all a bit different in terms of modeling, with Sergeant High Gear having these accessories on him, Margaret also having a bunch of accessories on her. Both of them are slightly different shapes from Maurice Wheelks here. Sergeant High Gear, is he taller as well? No, it doesn't look like it. They are pretty consistent. Same with Margaret. She does just have some slight shaping differences, but yeah, generally same size and shape and all that. Margaret is just a little differently shaped in a few areas. Like this part isn't as deep as it is on Maurice. I think part of what makes Maurice so strange is just how boxed off he is. This weird sort of alcove in his front, this part that almost looks like it's missing, and also, I think the fact that he lacks rear view mirrors, I think if he had mirrors, he would honestly look a lot better. Is this based on a real car? I don't quite remember. There's not a... Oh, yeah. Oh, he's a Land Rover. Okay. I usually don't mind Land Rovers, but I guess not all items translated into the Cars universe work well. I don't know. I think part of it's the face, too. It's just a little goofy. I'm sorry. Am I upsetting the Maurice Wheelks stands in the audience, or do you guys prefer to be called Maurice stands? I don't know. Are you team Maurice with a last name or Maurice without a last name? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, I don't know. I'm trying not to be too harsh because there's not really anything to be harsh about. I just think this is kind of a weird looking item, but he's very unique. He's genuinely a very unique background character. Even though a few other cars use his mold, there's nobody like him in the diecast line. I like that we have this sort of silver windshield. It doesn't really match the rest of him, honestly. Well, I guess there's silver around the other windows. We have sort of the flat top going on here, as per usual. Kind of gives the effect of hair. Honestly, I think it's a bit too flat. Guys, the shaping on this item is just so weird. What am I supposed to say? There are so many strange little design quirks. And again, I know it's based on a real Land Rover, but it just looks so strange in car form. We've got the headlights there. We've got his mouth. Very detailed, three-dimensional mouth. Let's see, moving on to the side. You've got this little... Is this like the door handle or a little hook? I can't quite tell. Another piece there. I think that is the door handle. We've got silver around the window, silver stripe there, and the sort of flat top roof here actually has a bit of an angle going upwards. I do like his tires. They are treaded, pretty appropriate for a Land Rover. Some nice white wheels there. Some bolts that are present. His license plate is GRENGD2. Not quite sure what that's referencing. I assume it probably is one. It's a bit too specific to not be. Is that going to be the same license plate as Sergeant High Gear? Hey, wait a minute. He's Gren GD1 and he's Gren GD2. I wonder if this is like Gren Guard 1 and Guard 2. Is Maurice Wheelks supposed to be an off-duty London Guard? Wait a minute. Is Margaret Motoray supposed to be an off-duty British Guard? Wait a minute. Margaret has the same license plate, guys. Come on. Okay, wait, this is so strange. So for those of you who don't know, Sergeant High Gear was supposed to come out in 2012. And he didn't come out until 2018. But Maurice came out in 2013. So they gave him the license plate 1, him the license plate 2, and then gave Margaret the same one. Come on, you had one job. I was going to do the thing where I flick her off the table, but I recently got this. I don't want to damage it. Didn't Margaret have a British accent in the episode? I guess that makes sense. Land Rovers are, I believe, an English car. Yeah, so I mean, Maurice is red. He's the same model as Sergeant High Gear, or at the very least, very similar. They are the same type of car. Is he supposed to be like a guard who's not currently active? Because that makes this item significantly cooler. Did I... guys, is that a thing with Maurice? I mean, I guess we have no way of knowing, but I wonder if that was the intention behind this character and his design. I wonder if that's what they were going for. He is watching with the Queen, after all. Or maybe I'm looking way too deep into his license plate being the same as Sergeant Highgear's, but with a difference in one number. If that is the case, if he is supposed to be like an off-duty British Guard, then I think that makes me like this item quite a bit more. Other than that, Maurice is just such a strange, unique-looking item. There are a lot of things that I think just don't work from a design standpoint. They make him look really weird and strange and odd, but I can't hate this item because it's just so goofy looking. It's a fun diecast. It's a fun, unique, distinct background character. And I also can't hate it because, like I said, I have some personal history with Maurice here, and I'm happy to finally add a card in my collection that kind of represents one of my earliest YouTube friendships. Disney Cars Collector hasn't posted in several years. I hope wherever he is, whatever he's up to, he's doing well. And yeah, shout out him. Hope he's doing well. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think about Maurice Wheelks in the comments. I'm sorry for offending the large Maurice Wheelks fan base that I know is definitely out there. I do apologize. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.